Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix, from Sileo, Tales of a New Dawn. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and get the news version earlier, you can go to Patreon. $5 a month, $54 a year. So, on the last Let's Play, we traveled to Summersvale and got ourselves a bottle of whiskey, which was very old, for a tie, and then couldn't find accommodation, so we sat in an alleyway for some reason. I just feel like, I don't know. Like, I'd have to assume libraries close at some time, but I feel like the train station would be open for like 24/7, you know? Seems like a lot better place to stay than alleyway. But anyways, enough about that. It's because Axel came across this and was like, "Oh, you're somewhere else. You're in an alleyway. You stink, and you're holding a bottle of whiskey. You're homeless." And it's like, and we played on that, and I was like, no. And then said, you know, we're getting whiskey, but there's no accommodations anywhere, and we can't go back. So now Axel's bringing us to his home, where we're gonna see his dad and his MILF mom, maybe? I don't know. I'll have to see. Here's that face. And start. Mom, Dad, I'm back with dinner, and I brought a friend with me. I heard an audible gasp from the adjacent room, followed by frantic, scuttering feet. Ah! What is that? Oh no. Ah! I'm sorry about this. Hello! A new friend. My, Axel. Where did you find such a handsome young man? Ooh, my goodness. If I were your age again, I would hardly be able to get my hands to myself. Oh ho ho. I thought it was a different picture. Oh well. Mom, she wants to bang you. Axel's mother began to circle me like a hungry shark, sizing me up as she went, until she paused, a look of disgust spreading across her face. Oh my goodness! What is that smell? Smells so good. Want some of that husky meat? I got rained on. Ugh. I haven't smelled anything that bad since Joe fixed our plumbing to save money. I got it fixed though, didn't I, Beth? After 3 days. 3 days, Joe. Yes, I know. What can I say? It was a bit of a crap shot. Good one, Dad. Ha ha ha. Thanks, son. And, oh please, pay my lovely wife no mind. She gets all excited when Axel brings new friends home, and it has been quite some time since the last. I remember it like it was yesterday when he brought that shark home. What was his name? Robert? Russell, I believe. Russell, that was him. Axel. What's wrong with it? Wait, what was wrong with sweet, lovely Richmond? He would have made a lovely boyfriend. Mom? So tall and so handsome, and what a smile. I could just melt when I saw that toothy grin of his. Ah, and I hear they have 2 dicks. Great for both my holes. Oh well, I suppose it doesn't matter. Husky is just as good too, right? Aw, you two will make us such a lovely couple. Oh, we're not. Dear, we have a guest for dinner, and his dinner's getting cold. Perhaps it would be a good time to set the table? Oh, my goodness, yes. I'd be mortified serving Axel's new boyfriend cold food. What would he think of me? What was his name again, my dear? Adrian. Ah, what a lovely name. Well then, Anthony, I hope you're hungry. There's plenty of food to go around. Oh, Axel, honey, would you be a dear and bring the food into the kitchen so that I can begin serving it up? Coming. And with that, Beth scuttled towards the kitchen, with an obedient Axel closely in tow. Soon, the sounds of clattering cutlery drowned out practically all else, and Joe having to raise his voice so he could hear him over the din. So I could hit... Is din a word? Let me just save that, and then save this, and then I'll just, you know. Because, you know, I like helping with typos. Like, I don't know what din is, though it could be some European thing, because I haven't assumed the person that made this game is European. I apologize about that, Adrian. It is, as I say, she can get rather carried away when Axel brings home new friends. She never was quite the best when it came to remembering people's names. My name is Joe, Axel's dad. A pleasure. Good to meet you, and I promise I don't always smell this bad. Ah, now don't you worry about that. I've already given you the benefit of the doubt. Just so you know, as well, Axel and I were just friends. Of course, I apologize again for my wife. Ever since she learned of Axel's, well, preferences, she's been concerningly interested in his love life. Concerningly? Yeah. I have tried to convince her to give the boy some breathing space, but... well, when Beth takes an interest in something like that, there's very little anybody can do to stop her. It could be worse, right? At least she's passionate, and supportive to boot. Joe appeared tickled pink by this response as he chuckled in a way only Dad could. That is a very glass half full way of looking at it. I like your attitude, Adrian. Oh, I hope you're hungry. Curry is on the menu, and we have plenty to go around. Are you sure it's okay? I did show up unannounced after all, and I wouldn't want to impose. Of course, any friend of Axel's welcome. And just between you and me, but I cannot imagine Beth would allow you to leave without a hearty meal and a warm shower. I mean, I could just slip away. She'll chase you. She may not look it, but she was a cross-country champ 3 years in a row, back in high school. That's actually kind of terrifying. But also she is a cheetah, just saying. No, actually now that I think about it, cross-country isn't speed, it's distance, I think. So, yeah. Though they could have put in the genes in animals where they can, you know, keep going. Because that's the thing I heard, that's like, yeah, animals can run very fast, but humans have the kind of unique ability where they can just keep on going. They may not be fast, but they can keep moving. Ah, don't be afraid. She can be rather intense, but I assure you, there's never dull moments around here. 25 years and counting, and she keeps me on my toes. And then, my darling wife is rather particular when it comes to setting the table and dishing up. I would say you have a good 8 minutes to spare. Considering the state of you, a hot shower really ought to hit the spot. No offense, of course. None taken. I haven't looked in the mirror recently, but if I look how I feel, I can't be good. I'll gladly take up on that offer. Great. You know, for years, I was addicted to showering. But now, I'm finally clean. Oh no. Ah, not even a giggle? Heh, Axel so loves my jokes. The showering is down the hall, though through the first door on the right. The towel on the heated rail is fresh, so feel free to use it. Between the fresh towel and having brought enough food for an extra person, it's almost though you're expecting me. Do you get visits often, or visitors? No, not for a while actually, but that's my Beth. No matter what, we must always be ready to accept guests at a moment's notice. Consider it one of her many idiosyncrasies. Though it's weird that sometimes I can't read a word that I've talked all my life, but then I'm like, that's idiosyncrasy. A word I almost never use. But also it's like, these guys must have lots of leftovers then. If, you know, they're getting food for an extra person. I see. Well, thanks, Axel's dad. I'm gonna get myself cleaned up before dinner. That is so child thing to do, because we did learn his name. I think it's like Joe or something, but then he's like, well, thanks, Axel's dad. Or, you know, like in Bluey, where it's like Bluey's dad or Bluey's mom. Oh, got it right. Holy crap, I actually remembered a name. Attaboy, Axel's friend. Just make sure you don't take too long. Beth won't let us eat until everybody is present, and, well, those rice cakes she adores only make me hungrier for real food. Joe, honey, what did you do with the guest plates? They are not in the cupboard where they belong. Oh, well, I don't really recall. It's been such a while that since we've needed them. Honey. Yeah, don't worry, I'll find them for you right now, dear. Thank you, Joe. With that, Joe ambered toward the kitchen with only mild urgency to begin his hunt for the missing guest plates. Maybe I was imagining it, but there was something about Beth's tone that gave me pause. Almost as though it were in Joe's best interest to locate the runaway plates. And fast. Oh, Axel, Alexei, my dear. Please, make yourself right at home. Is there anything I can get you, love? Would you like a drink while you wait? Actually, Joe suggested a shower, and I think I could really use one right about now. That is, if it's okay with you. Oh, Anthony, of course it is. It's the first door on the right down the hallway. The towel on the rail is ready for you, and I'll have Joe fetch you some clean clothes. That is, just as soon as he found the plates he misplaced. Though you could always come with your birthday suit for me. Just she's flirtatious. And with that, Beth scuttled off once again, promptly disappearing into the kitchen once more. It seemed as though Joe had landed himself in a spot of bother. I sincerely hope he could find those plates in time, because I sure wouldn't want to be in see what would happen if he didn't. I took every fiber of my being not to just stand beneath the flow, mouth agape, in exhausted stupor as the day's long hours swirled the drain with the dirty water. My unplanned nap earlier had done little to address my exhaustion, and despite my best efforts, the train had proven too loud and uncomfortable to facilitate another. A statement whose irony was not lost on me. After all, only hours before had I fallen asleep against a tree trunk in the pouring rain, flashes of lightning, and booming thunder that followed them, failing spectacularly to disturb my much-needed slumber. I was very thankful that Axel had found me, the awkwardness of it paling in comparison to the rather dull alternative dire, sleeping on the streets. But as eager as I was for some proper shut-eye, that would have to wait. I had other needs to attend to first. Masturbating. And with first among them being personal hygiene, it was time to move on to the second of those needs, my growling belly. A growling belly which was a little too exposed for my liking. The change of clothes left by the bathroom door, clearly a few sizes too small. Oh, look at those curves. Looking good, honey. Oh ho 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 ho. Oh, I'm sorry, Adrian. I had anticipated that Axel's old clothes might be a bit tight fit, but that's a little more than just tight. I feel like a burrito. And you look kind of like one too. Sadly, Axel and I are similar sizes, so my clothing would be no better. And Beth's clothing, well, those pose a different problem entirely. Excuse me, Joe? Are you suggesting that my clothing might be a better fit? Of course not, my dear. I simply mean that your wondrous wardrobe would be wasted on a man's figure. Not everybody has your perfect body, my love. Ooh, Joe, stop. Ho ho ho, you're too much. I couldn't help but smile in appreciation of Joe's narrow save as I seated myself in the open spot next to Axel, where steam rose from the plate of delicious-looking curry, served with rice and some kind of unusual looking bread. Not to worry, Adrian, your clothes are in the wash. Won't be long before you're wearing something size-appropriate again. I even use special laundry powder. Ooh, you're going to smell nice, Andrew. Thanks, guys. You really didn't have to go through all this trouble. Nonsense, Gordon. It's no trouble at all. Okay, that's not even close. Maybe you're hungry. Summersvale is home to one of the finest curry places in the country. You're about to see why firsthand. A bold claim, but one I desperately hoped would be accurate for the sake of my growing stomach. The fragrance of exotic spices danced within my nostrils as my anticipation continued to grow. As we sat patiently, Avery's gaze was directed at Beth, whose approval was required before he could begin. Even Joe waited expectantly, knowing all too well not to overstep his bounds. It was then, with a warm and gracious smile, that Beth gave us the go-ahead. Well, what's everybody waiting for? I failed to resist an amused snort as all four of us started on our meals. The moment Beth was looking the other way, Joe fired me a knowing smirk as he tore off a piece of bread and dipped it into the curry before folding it over and cheerfully tossed it in his mouth. Looking over the side, I noticed Axel was doing the exact same with his own. I had no idea if this was the correct way to enjoy curry, but decided to follow their examples nonetheless, dipping a piece of bread before tossing it directly in my maw. How is it, Adrian? Never, in all my years on Earth, had I tasted something so incredibly delicious. The rich, creamy flavor of the curry, the tenderness of the rice, the flawless balance of cheese and garlic on top of the bread. It was magnificent. I think I tried cheese naan bread. It was okay. Definitely paled in comparison to garlic. Adrian? It was no use. Much like the journey that had gotten me to Summersville, this trip was one way. The destination? Flavor Town. Oh no. So, where'd you two boys meet? Oh, it was on the train back home, last time I was here. Really? 2 weeks ago? What a coincidence. You know, once I knew an elephant that refused to travel by train. The promise of an amusing anecdote somehow recaptured my attention. If only I had known what was coming up by this point, perhaps I should have. Why is that? He refused to leave his trunk in the baggage car. Good one, Dad. The look on her face is just priceless. I feel like I need medical attention after that one. Come on, honey. Admit, it was a good one. I'm sorry about my husband, Adam. He thinks he's quite the comedian. Some real grunters so far. I guess if you're gonna go bad, you've gotta go real bad. Oh, come on now. They're not that unfunny, are they? Axel likes my jokes. Yep. The four of us continued our meals as I savored each and every delicious bite of curry. I took note of the restaurant's name next time I'd visit Summersville. One day, I'd hope to have the opportunity to take Ty there. Eventually, I took the heartbreaking final bite of my delicious meal, my heart shattered in pieces as I stared at the now empty bowl. Axel had finished his meal shortly before and excused himself to the bedroom, invited me to follow along once I had caught up. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Beth. That was delicious. When he said it was one of the finest curry places in the country, you weren't kidding. A man after my own heart. And Axel will make such a lovely couple, Alexi. You have a good taste, Adrian. If you hadn't liked it, you might have had a problem. Ha ha ha. Oh, Joe, don't scare a poor guest. I'm only joking, of course. Here, honey, let me get a plate for you. Oh, and mine. Please, and thank you. You're quite capable of taking it to the sink on your own, Joe. Yes, dear. Beth's smile returned as she approached, collecting my plate and quickly darting off towards the kitchen with it. I turned to Joe and struck up conversation. That was a bit frosty for her. Oh, no, it's quite alright. I'm sure you have a girlfriend just like her someday, or you'll. Then you'll understand. Oh, I'm into guys. But I thought you and Axel were just friends. We are. It's just something we have in common, that's all. Ah, yes, sure thing. Whatever you say. Joe returned with a dramatic wink, to which I rolled my eyes. I'm only kidding, of course. I'm sure you found yourself someone very special, right? Yeah, but it's a long, complicated story, but there's somebody I am interested in. Say no more. I wish you the best of luck, Adrian. Now, I better help with the washing up, or I'll really be in trouble. What do you say you head down to Axel's room? I'm sure he's missing your company. Are you sure you don't want my help? I really don't mind. It's not me who needs the convenience. I didn't fancy going toe-to-toe with Beth. I didn't even need to try to know that I didn't stand a chance. I'll go check with Axel then. Very wisely chosen. You're a quick learner. You two have a good night. We'll be out here if you need us. Thanks, Joe. My pleasure. Oh, and if you need any spare blankets or anything, they're in the cupboard, immediately to the right, outside Axel's room. You're staying the night, yes? Only if that's okay. Of course, wouldn't dream of turning you away. You know, speaking of blankets, I once was in a band called Blanket. By now, I know better than to bite. Noticing my face fall, Joe's grin grew ever wider, no doubt enjoying the suffering inflicted by his dreadful sense of humor. Let me think. Maybe it's like, and then he got wrapped up in all the things? We were the cover band. That's it. I'm leaving. Enjoy your night, Adrian. Despite the constant stream of horrific jokes, he'd quickly grown rather fond of Axel's father. He seemed clued up, well-measured and polite. It was clear he had an awful lot of patience, and didn't make a habit of sweating the small stuff. All traits that would come in handy with a wife like Beth, we found to be somewhat terrifying. She certainly was eccentric, although perhaps it was an understatement. My nerves had been on edge for a while, so escape into Axel's room was a overdue relief. I wandered down the hallway, finding Axel's bedroom with no problem at all, clearly signposted with comic book posters stuck on the outside of his door. Taking a brief look before heading inside, it looked like he was into some fairly dated, tame comics. Or perhaps that's all he was allowed to have? Finally making it inside, I saw Axel sitting comfortably on a beanbag chair, rapidly tapping away at his controller as he played his video game, his tongue out one side as his focus glued to the screen ahead. I avoided being a distraction, instead quietly slipping into the chair beside him and watching in silence. I recognized the game as a platform exclusive, a long-standing series I hadn't yet taken time to play. It was a platforming title with heavy emphasis on combat, a huge arsenal of weird and wonderful weapons, and an even larger battalion of vicious enemies, an army of which set about turning Thai into lunch meat. Crap, out of ammo. And so quickly selected another weapon to continue his desperate defense as enemy after enemy forced him further and further back. It was all he could do to avoid incoming fire by rapidly jumping and frantically strafing, but he continued to lose ground as he struggled to thin the enemy's herd. I wonder what game this is supposed to be a reference of, or if it's just going to be like any generic game. No, I'm so close! Forced into a corner, Axel leaned forward, grasping the controller with white knuckles as his fingers mashed the buttons so fast I was sure there would have been smoke. But as the weapon after weapon ran dry, and his health continued to plummet with every hit taken, it became clear the struggle was in vain. No! Can't believe I'm still not good enough for this level. You're doing well too. I'm sure I'll get it next time. Thanks. I'll try that level every time I come. I only get this old console when I'm visiting, so I'm trying to get the most out of what I got. It's okay though. It is a really fun game. Wish I was good enough to clear this level though. You'll get it. You were already doing an amazing job. Are you gonna have another go? Nah, I was just killing time waiting for you. It's you to play video games when you've got a guest. Though it is kind of weird that you just kind of sulked off into your own room by yourself. I know. Though granted, maybe he's autistic. I mean, I might have something myself. I don't know. I just feel like, and I'm happy for the kind of mental thing that I can do where I'm like, okay, I'm done here. I'm leaving. I don't know. Maybe I do have autism. Though I've never... Actually, I have gone to, like, a psychiatrist, like, when I was a child, and then when I first went to college. I really should take advantage of my own stuff. I don't know if you play co-op, it isn't. That game doesn't have co-op. If you like, we can find one that does. Or we can do something else. Huh, don't stress, Axel. You and your family have been way too accommodating already. You don't need to go out of your way to try and entertain me. Honestly, your parents have already done a pretty good job at that. Oh yeah, they're pretty wacky, huh? They're good people, though, promise. I don't doubt that, don't worry. Though it certainly seems like there was never a dull day in this house. Your mom sure seems hands-on. Heh, yeah. She always looks out for me, always looking out for me. But sometimes it's a little too much. That's okay, though. I'm lucky. Some kids have to fend for themselves. But things ever went badly for me, I always got a home to come back to. Parents will look after me. It's great to have a safe pad. To tell you the truth, not long before I moved to Woodcrest, I had half a mind of running back home with my tail between my legs. Stay with my mom for a bit. Catch my bearings. Life in the city, it was hard. I'd put all this work and money into my degree, and thought I knew a bit about the world. I thought I could make a success of it. I thought if I worked hard and did my best, I'd come up on top. But that's not how the world works. Instead, I got that crappy internship. Was lucky enough to get a paying job out of it, but I was just barely enough to afford a roof over my head. A little before I quit, my boss made a bunch of people redundant. They didn't even get severance. Some clause in their contract, some legal loophole, whatever. They got 2 weeks' notice. Only a month or so later, I'm leaving work one afternoon, and that same boss is proudly showing off his new car to his cronies. Real fancy, fresh from the dealer. I looked at them all that night. Worth $130 grand. $130,000? For a car? Yep, and that ain't even the worst part. My team leader, Darren, who had been operating well under minimum staffing level on account of having several of his workers sent packing, he just about blew a fuse. He found out that the boss had gotten a big bonus for finishing the financial year under budget, something he was only able to do by firing a bunch of people, something that helped him afford that fancy car, which, yep, that's capitalism, baby. Because it's like, we're going to get these people to do a bunch of work, and then if we think we don't need all that production for like a minute, or hell, if we think we can make the people that are left work harder, we'll just fire a bunch of people, and then hey, all of a sudden the company saves a bunch of money, which they immediately put into salaries for the people at the top, and yeah. Darren went to the directors about it, and they did something about it, right? That's not the way the world works. A week later, Darren was packing his things in his box. They got on some technicality, got rid of him for standing up for what was right. After that, not only were we severely short-staffed, but we had no team leader either. They weren't in a hurry to replace him, that was for sure. It was a total mess. Our team got ridden hard for our lack of progress. Not a day went by without that asshole screaming at us about something or another. And, well, you know the rest. I called Diego, desperate for some kind of escape, and he gave me one. The very next day, I was in Woodcrest. I'm sorry. That sounds horrible. It's kind of funny how we trauma dump quite commonly. It's alright. That's life, right? I wouldn't say it's all been smooth sailing since I moved, but I'm a lot happier overall. Well, mostly. Ty alright? Or Ty right? Yeah, Ty. If I can still fix this, I'll be the happiest man alive. But maybe it would be better not to get my hopes up. Maybe I don't deserve a second chance. Don't say that. Of course you deserve another chance. Ty will see that for sure. Yeah, thanks for the vote of confidence, Axel. I really hope you're right. Yep. Axel beamed brightly his tail swished to and fro. Deciding I'd said enough about myself for in the meantime, I chose to change the topic by asking Axel about his childhood. What's it like growing up in Summersville, Axel? It seems like a really tiny place. It is, but that's not always a bad thing. It's really safe here. Nothing bad ever happens. And we got the best curry place in the country. You know, I'm inclined to agree. Not usually a fan of curry, but wow, tonight's dinner sure was something. Yeah. I'm sorry Mom thought we were, you know. She does that every time I bring a friend home. No apologies necessary. Your dad already did a great job of explaining it to me too. Oh. Yeah, seems like she's excited for you. Most moms never want their kids to grow up, but yours seems excited about every little milestone. That's so embarrassing though. Heh, I get that. It's almost like also like you said though, some kids don't have that. She might be embarrassing at times, but she clearly loves you a lot and wants the best for you. She used to yell at the judges during the swimming contest. They used to be scared of her. Geez, really? Not gonna lie, I'm a bit scared of her too. I guess I should be glad I'm not not judging your swimming, huh? Yeah, so long as she thinks you're my boyfriend, she'll go easy on you. I guess that's a lie worth following for the time being. And maybe someday you can introduce her to Dom, and she can fawn over him instead. Someday. Are you two a thing yet? How's things going with, what do you guys call it again? Fox Die? Operation Fox Date. Oh yeah, that's what I said, isn't it? I've also been trying real hard to set something up, but it's been kinda hard. Dom's always at work, or I'm always at work, or one of us is too broke to afford it, or something else entirely. He's got some real romantic ideas though. Someday soon, it'll work out. That's great, Axel. Also seems like a really great guy in the short time that I've known him. It's really good of him to help you set up like this. Yeah, he's the best. I'm really glad to have a friend like him. I hope I'm not overstepping any boundaries by saying so, but you and Russell are thick as thieves. How come you two never ended up getting together? You've known each other for a long time, right? Well, we're just friends. I guess that's the only reason why. Huh. What do you mean? I don't know. I guess we've known each other for so long that something like that would be weird. It's not that Russell isn't nice or anything. I think I get it. Sometimes it's best to stay friends, because if you wind up getting together, but things don't work out, you'll often lose that friendship too. Huh? You don't think that me and Dom... What? Crap, I said the wrong thing and caused Axel to worry. I went to full damage control, trying to assure Russell. I'm trying to assure Axel that he and Dom would be perfect together and would never have such an issue. And with this scene change right here, I think it's a good time to call it. So that's going to be the end of this Let's Play. So, thank you all for watching. Please comment, because I like comments. Tell me what you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise. If you like my YouTube and like to grow, then please subscribe and share the videos to help it grow. And please remember the main most to help control the pit population. And if you're interested in playing this game, it's available free on itch.io. But if you want to support people that make this game and or get the news version earlier, you can go to Patreon, where it's $5 a month, $54 a year. You can tell this isn't a childhood's room, or, from the 90s or 80s, because there would be stars up here. That was a cool thing as a kid, because, they would absorb light, or, like sunlight, or light bulb light, and then you turn off the lights, and they would glow for, a good hot minute. Yeah. Anyways, until next time. Let's play. Bye me, GamerWolfSix of Sileo, Tales of a New Dawn. A game where it's either, just about dating guys or about nuclear apocalypses and immortals. So thanks and see ya.